Hi, greetings. I am happy to take part in 7th International Symposium on Materials, Electrochemistry and Environment. In this talk, I would like to highlight the necessity for transition to hydrogen economy, particularly in the era of climate change. Climate change policies and net zero has been a priority for all countries on this planet, and with particular reference to India, uh, as early as in 2010, the then Indian Prime Minister, late Manmohan Singh, highlighted the uh, climate change issues and also uh, the emission reduction goals, the various programs, how we can reduce the greenhouse gas emissions, and so on. Since then, several programs have been taken up by the Indian government, including a wide variety of non-conventional energy sources. The carbon dioxide emissions in various economic sectors are shown in this. Uh, for example, the electricity and the heat producing sector emits about 42%, followed by the manufacturing, construction, transport, and residential. Carbon dioxide emission by transport sector includes automobile sector mostly contributes to 40%, and the transportation by trucks about 34%, aviation, marine almost equal, and railways. This is the general trend in India, and the adaptation, mitigation are the major programs for every country after the Paris Agreement, which states that the temperature, global temperature, should be well below rise, particularly the global rise. You know, we have different reports, and many of the reports present a very catastrophic scenario. The temperature is increasing, so we should maintain the rise below 2 degrees, and to pursue this, probably we have to follow various adaptations, mitigation strategies. One of the most important uh, activity for all countries is decarbonization. Um, for achieving decarbonization, we have to depend on renewable energy, carbon capture, storage, electrification, and so on, particularly smart energy systems, energy efficiency systems, uh, renewable energy, and so on. You can see this book details the decarbonization strategies and drivers to achieve carbon neutrality for sustainability. This was published in 2024. In decarbonization, for achieving decarbonization, role of hydrogen is very significant. Reason being, hydrogen is a clean energy and it is a versatile fuel. Now, see, we are all concerned the global, especially the planetary boundaries. As of now, the important study published in Science Advances has warned that 6 of the 9 planetary boundaries have transgressed the threshold due to anthropogenic pressures. You can see I will not go into those details. Out of 9, 6 are transgressed, and we have a compartment, the novel entity. Probably we don't know what are these novel entities, maybe several of the emerging pollutants and contaminants. The flagship events on climate change at international level dates back to 1992 Earth Summit, which was held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and the significant agenda of that event are 3, that is United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, that is UNFCCC. United Nations proposed the Convention on Biological Diversity in the same conference, the Earth Summit or the Rio. Then United Nations Convention to combat desertification. After 5 years, then the Kyoto Protocol emphasized the reduction in greenhouse gases. Then like 2007, COP29 Bali Action Plan, which is very landmark conference, highlighted for the red for developing countries, that is reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation in developing countries. A couple of years later, the COP 15 in 2009, which was held in Copenhagen, Denmark, further strengthened the ideas, and 2015 is a notable achievement, that is called the Paris Agreement on Climate Change. This was held in 2015, and 2024, the last year's conference of the parties in Baku in Azerbaijan showcased the significant research developments in hydrogen production, and Baku also displayed a pilot plant, which I will show maybe later. So the 2024 international events, the number, if you look into this table, is mind-boggling. Almost every alternate month there is a major scientific conference in the developed countries, mostly Europe and United North America, including Dubai. So this gives us the idea that how important is the agenda, hydrogen agenda, for global, for addressing global warming and sustainability. There are 2 giant organizations, UNIDO, United Nations Industrial Development Organization, and ICHET, that is International Center for Hydrogen Energy Technologies. Both these programs and initiatives focus research and development on the use of hydrogen technology and its relevance for sustainability. This year, we published, myself and another colleague, published 3 volumes on accelerating the transition to hydrogen economy, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, and we try to bring all the significant achievements in the field of hydrogen economy, particularly for reducing greenhouse gases and for achieving the agenda of the sustainable development goals. We produce hydrogen. We produce hydrogen either by wind or solar energy, and what we call as a green hydrogen, which is produced by electrolysis, or non-renewable hydrogen, mostly from fossil fuels, nuclear heat, and electricity. So you have a classification here: gray hydrogen, blue hydrogen, turquoise, and purple, that is nuclear. Turquoise is methane pyrolysis. Uh, there are different chemical process and high-tech science, carbon capture, storage, carbon capture, utilization and storage, coal gasification, and steam methane reforming are some of the important process uh, well discussed in scientific field. Uh, uh, Several of the pilot projects are launched all over the world. The notable pilot plants more than 2 decades ago are launched in Argentina, Portugal, Libya, Turkey, South Korea, China, and India. India had 2 projects 20 years back started for simple transportation, like a three-wheeler transportation, which is very popular, which I will show you a couple of minutes later. Now, hydrogen production broadly can be divided into two: the fossil fuel based, that is steam reforming, thermal reforming, partial oxidation, hydrocarbon reforming, hydrocarbon pyrolysis, and chemical recycling or looping. Renewable resources include water splitting, which is a bit expensive and require a very sophisticated technology. The second one is biomass process, where thermochemical process, including the dark fermentation, photofermentation, and biophotolysis. So these are all the processes discussed in the scientific literature in several hundreds of papers, and this is one of the key paper in the journal Energy, published in 2022.